this time last night, along with Jamie Hirsch, and we're very happy that Jamie's able to be with us on the telecast again here tonight. Jack Morris and Dick Bramer. Paul Molitor, of course, spent some time here as a player, part of his Hall of Fame career, and his only World Championship here in Toronto. The Menards batting order for the Twins, and it's a little bit different as the manager's trying to shake things up at least a little bit to try to generate a little more offense. Aaron Hicks in the leadoff spot for the second time this year, with Brian Dozier moving down to second, Joe Mauer third, Miguel Sano fourth. Trevor Plouffe, Eddie Rosario, Eduardo Escobar, Eric Fryer, and Shane Robinson.
Twins will be facing right-handed pitching Drew Hutchinson. He's making his 22nd start for the Blue Jays. He's had a tremendous home record here at Rogers Center. He's 7-1 with a 2.47 ERA. Not so good on the road. His ERA is almost 9, but he has been the beneficiary of tremendous run support. 7.73 runs per game, which is only second to Eovaldi of the Yankees.
And the Twins hoping to strike early. The Blue Jays lining up this way defensively with some former Twins in the lineup. On the Northland Ford defense, Ben Revere's in left, Kevin Pillar in center, Jose Bautista in right. Chris Colabello gets the start at first. Goins and Tulowitzki up the middle. Donaldson at third. Russell Martin behind the plate. Colabello saw some time in the outfield before the acquisition of Ben Revere, when he plays a position now most of the time it'll probably be first base. And Aaron Hicks back in the leadoff spot. Spent one game there. Twins scoring about a run a game, and Hicks takes up and away ball one. Hicks, Dozier, and Mauer in the first. Aaron excited to be hitting in the spot in the batting order that he's most accustomed to. There's a ball laced to center field. And Hicks couldn't hit it any harder. He's aboard with a leadoff single.
A good result for the change that Paul has put in there today. Dozier now will come aboard with a guy on base, something we haven't seen for a while.
Yeah.
And maybe the Twins can get it started early. Hutchinson throws a lot of strikes. His fastball is pretty straight. And his breaking pitch is close to the same velocity as his fastball. The changeup is the pitch that he needs to command better, and he's been working on it, but that's not his secondary pitch, is his third pitch.
And Dozier takes a breaking ball over, strike one. Dozier's hit second, of course, many times before. He's hit cleanup this year, so moving around. I don't know that Brian necessarily changes his approach at the plate dependent on where he is in the batting order.
He's led off the majority of the games for the Twins this year, and I don't think it's going to bother him one bit.
Both Dozier and Hicks are 9 out of 12 in stolen base opportunities. Two players with the highest success rate. 75% is very good. Long hold. Hutchinson delivers, and Dozier swings through a fastball, 1-1. Excuse me, 0-2. Of course, the theory is with a base stealing threat at first, maybe Dozier will see more fastballs hitting behind him with Hicks aboard.
It appears that the Jays are paying attention to that early leadoff hit, base runner. It's been a while since the Twins got on the board first, and it's something that they were doing so well during their winning stretch. Nice to see him do that here in the first inning.
And Dozier pitch up and away, and he got a piece. Well, just to get a hit in that first at bat.
Seems like the ones that Brian was getting were home runs.
Right. He's really struggling just putting guys on base, much less bringing them around to score. Oh, 0-2 to Dozier. Crack. Speared by Donaldson. He dropped the ball. The out is recorded. Dozier driving the ball toward the corner, and Donaldson with a great catch, picking it off at the top of his league.
Third base umpire Tim Wilkie, the crew chief, indicated that it was recorded an out because he was transferring the ball after the catch when he bobbled the ball. But Brian couldn't hit it any harder, so that's 2 well-hit balls here to start the game for the Twins.
And now Mauer. And a pitch taken up high and a bluff throw to first by Martin.
Well, I think it's an understatement to say that this is the guy in the Twins lineup that needs to get going. Joe has really struggled lately, and to have him in the 2 and 3 hole the way Molitor has, I'm sure there's a lot of Twins fans raising their eyebrows right now. Joe would like to quiet all that.
And Hicks takes off looking in all the while like that was a hit and run. 1-1 to Mauer. Joe had the average down to 250, then got it up to 280, and most people, at least me, thought, well, all right, it's just a matter of time before it picks up another 20 points, but instead it's dropped about 20. Molitor trying to kickstart the offense here after the leadoff single, sending Hicks. And Mauer fouled the pitch back.
Well, the thinking there is that Hutchinson's around the strike zone with his fastball, and it's usually up. Now he's trying to throw a changeup here, so we'll see how Joe handles that.
Just off the corner.
Pretty good pitch, but a good eye by Mauer.
2-1.
If the hit and run was on, it was off on that pitch. Hicks stayed at first base.
And 5th or 6th throw over to first. Two and 1. 3-1 with Sano on deck. Well, we've seen Hutchinson very aware of Hicks's speed at first and hasn't missed the barrel of the bat yet. See what Mauer gets on 3-1. And ball 4. And the start of something with 1 out and Sano coming to the plate. Sano's average has come down to 267. Drew a couple of walks again last night. Twins with runners in scoring position in this series. Not surprisingly, 0 for 8. He runs scoring, both of them, off the bat of Torrey Hunter. A home run here on Monday and then a sacrifice fly last night.
The beauty of baseball is every day is a new day. You get to start all over. And even though the Twins have struggled, doesn't mean they couldn't put up some crooked numbers in this game, and they've got a good opportunity right here. Sano has shown great patience at the mound, or at the plate, I mean, and Hutchinson a little erratic and deliberate so far.
There's a ball into short center. That'll die for a hit. Hicks around third. He's coming in. Pilar with the throw to third. He's safe. To second, Sano with a hard late head first slide. And the Twins take a 1-0 lead. Hicks hesitated briefly but had the speed to score on the soft single to center, and everybody else moved up a base as well.
That was some pretty good base running right there. It was going to take a very accurate throw from center fielder Kevin Pilar to get Mauer at third. The throw was offline, and then once Sano saw the throw, he was able to get second. You see Hicks there just hesitate a minute, and Gene Glenn waving him around. He scores easily, and after that it was pretty good base running by the Twins. Now they have runners at second and third with only 1 out.
Not sure what the Blue Jays were threatening to challenge. Maybe that Hicks missed third base, but Hutchinson was told to get back off the mound, and then the Blue Jays looked at it, and John Gibbons, managing the club once again after serving his 1-day suspension yesterday, said let's play on. Big spot here for the Twins. Scoring opportunities haven't been very frequent. A chance for a crooked number here in the first. Plouffe swings and misses one strike.
I don't know what to read into this, but it seems like the Twins have swung through a lot of fastballs middle half and up, kind of belt high to the letters. They haven't been on those fastballs, and typically those are the fastballs that they crush.
Foul back, 2 strikes. You know what we've seen here over the last week, they said people for decades asked Ted Williams what the key to hitting was, and eventually he'd work into, you know, position of the hands, hips, and all that. But he always started the answer by saying, get a good pitch to hit, and then when you get it, hit it.
Yeah, don't miss it.
Yeah, and what we've seen is Twins hitters expanding the strike zone, swinging at pitches that aren't good to hit, just off the plate. And then when they do get one, it's a foul ball over the backstop.
It's crazy how the game works, but it always seems like when a hitter's struggling a little bit, the pitcher is painting on the black, and then he gets him to swing out of the zone. It all goes around and comes around, I think.
1-2 to Plouffe. Hit to the gap in right center field. Won't be caught. It'll score 2. Bounces high off the wall, and the Twins are off to a quick start here, 3-0.
Now that's a good sign. That's something that we haven't seen in a while. Trevor makes great contact there, drives ball the other way. That'll make his hitting coach happy. And the Twins on the board with 2 more.
Pitch out over the plate, and Trevor probably does a better job of that than any other right-handed batter they've got. Driving the ball with authority to the right, to the opposite field. And now Rosario. Pretty good at that himself from the left side. Outside, ball 1. You saw Hutchinson's earned run average 5.42, and his one-loss record 9-2. Ordinarily, you pitch with an ERA of 5.42, and in the Toronto organization, they'll have you shuffling off to Buffalo.
Pretty much any organization.
It just so happens Buffalo's their AAA team, but as you said, you know, he's gotten run support enough to pick up 9 wins. 1-1 to Rosario.
And what that does for a young pitcher to take the mound with 3 runs already to work with, it's got to make him relax a little bit.
Blue started toward third, and they picked him off. And out on the bases for the second out. Tulowitzki cut behind him. Trevor was trying to steal third standing up. And Hutchinson gets a big break with a base running mistake here in the first. And to short center. Pilar under it. Tyler Duffy will throw his first major league pitch with a 3-0 lead. Duffy's about to make his major league debut. Duffy, who spent part of the year in Double-A, promoted in Triple-A, and now in the big leagues. Similar climb to the one he made last year when he started in Class A ball and got up as far as Triple-A. John Gibbons got the night off last night. Watched the game from a suite here. And the Menard batting order for the Blue Jays: Troy Tulowitzki, followed by Josh Donaldson, Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, Chris Colabello, Russell Martin, Ryan Goins, Kevin Pillar, and Ben Revere.
And they'll face Tyler Duffy making his debut. And his numbers in Rochester were as good as anybody. That's why he was called up. In 132 innings of pitching, he's only given up 1 home run. And that's probably a big reason against this potent lineup that he's here right now.
First pitch outside, ball 1. And now up and away 2-0. And to hear Duffy tell it, as he did in our open, the 1 home run he allowed was a wall scraper. Hit the yellow line.
Pitchers.
2-0 to Tulowitzki. There's the outside corner at 92 miles per hour. Tulowitzki, Donaldson, and Bautista. Tulowitzki with a home run last night. Foul.
Well, he came in with the fastball there. He had 3 pitches away, and he can run that fastball in on right-handers. It looked like a real hard line drive, but you know what? That has a purpose. You want to let the guy think that he can hammer that ball. There's really not much he can do with it when it's in that far. He can only pull it foul.
2-2. Breaking ball down and away, full count.
Got a big slider right there, and it's got a lot of break to it, east to west, or west to east, I guess, in the right-hander's case, right? No, it's east to west.
Yeah. Just 30 walks in over 130 innings. And after being given a 3-0 lead, you know he does not want to walk Tulowitzki. Almost hit him. So Duffy walks Tulowitzki, and that'll bring up Josh Donaldson. Twins out in the field have a lot of speed out there. Shane Robinson on left, Aaron Hicks in center, Eddie Rosario in right. Kloof and Escobar left side of the infield, Dozier and Mauer on the other side, and Eric Fryer, who's been a good part of his summer catching Duffy, will catch him in his major league debut. There's Robinson, the starting left fielder. Donaldson, the batter. He's homered in each of the first 2 games. And he gets ahead of Donaldson. Strike 1.
I think that's the main reason that you're seeing Eric Fryer do the catching, is that Paul knows that these two have been battery mates at Rochester this year, so that helps relax the kid a little bit. Fryer obviously knows what he's got the ability to throw.
Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Well, just think of everything that's new for Tyler Duffy tonight. He's never been in Canada before. Major league debut, big ballpark, major league atmosphere, and the
pennant race.
Yeah, pennant race. And the more familiarity, anytime you can inject a little familiarity, whether it's a catcher or something else, should help a little bit, you would think. Up high, 1 and 2.
Well, you can see in these first 2 batters that he's overthrown a little bit, and that's to be expected. He's got family there, and I trust that those family members are more nervous than anybody in this whole ballpark.
A little concerned about that leadoff walk. A double play grounder would take care of that, I suspect. Down and away, and it's 2 and 2.
He's jumping a little bit, rushing the ball up there. His lower body's going a little quicker than his upper body, and hopefully he'll get enough pitches under his belt that'll all kind of come together here without a lot of damage.
10 pitches, 4 strikes, and a 2-2 pitch to Josh Donaldson. Deep to left center field, and it's 3-2. A home run in all 3 games of this series so far. And a young man who gave up just one home run in over 130 minor league innings has already given one up in the big leagues.
Well, there's a big difference sometimes between AAA hitters and big league hitters, and especially the good big league hitters. That was a ball that was down around the knees, but he center cut it, and Josh Donaldson, that's right in his whooping zone.
Here's Bautista. Big swing and a miss on a breaking ball.
That ball had a little bit better sink right there. He took a little off his off-speed pitch there.
To center. Hicks retreating. And the track makes the catch one away. Fly ball to center kind of froze Hicks for a while.
What I do like is the fact that he's come after him with his stuff. Sometimes you get scouting reports, and I imagine the scouting report for this lineup is don't pitch this guy here and don't give this guy this pitch and don't, it's almost like, well, shoot, what do I got left? So you still got to go after him with your stuff, and Duffy is doing that.
Encarnacion takes a strike. Up and away, 1-1.
He's still rushing a little bit. And that slider, you can see his arm dragging it, and that's why the pitch was up.
Breaking ball down and away. 2-1. Shaves the outside corner at 93. 2-2.
And they really put that pitch in a good spot.
Breaking ball chopped up the line. A cold slap in the face. The Donaldson home run after the walk. But Duffy trying to get through this first inning, take a deep breath in the second, and hope for better innings to come. And now 3-2.
Well, I'm sure it's been preached to him. Those leadoff walks will hurt you, but if he hasn't learned it yet, he's learned it now. And welcome to the big leagues. You don't walk people, especially in this lineup.
3-2. Popped up, and Dozier retreats for out number 2. The Twins starting rotation has not been the issue. In fact, as we speak here on August 5th, the starters have the 4th best ERA in the American League. And they've done particularly well, the whole pitching staff has, against the Blue Jays. They played Toronto 5 times and given up an average of 4 runs against this lineup. That's pretty good. Here's Colabello. Colabello, briefly a teammate last year of Duffy's, and said before the game he was impressed with what you just said. He's going to come at this Toronto lineup with what he's got, and basically saying he's not afraid to challenge people. Down low, 1-1.
Yeah, we were both talking to Chris before the game, and that's, he said he's a competitor and he's not afraid, and that's a good trait to have. You come to the big leagues, you don't want to be too intimidated. Face some of the guys like Colabello, that's going to help his confidence a little.
Left an off-speed pitch up. Colabello fouled it back.
And I didn't mean that in any derogatory sense for Chris. All I'm saying is that when you recognize people that you've played with or played against before at different levels, you feel like, well, yeah, I remember that guy. I can, he made it, I made it. Let's go. It's the same league. It's just a different level.
1-2 to Colabello. And now 2-2. To be the 25th pitch of Duffy's first major league inning. Former closer for Rice University. And Duffy doesn't have the ball in his glove, and Colabello will get an infield hit. Almost looked like Colabello's liner went through the glove. A line drive for a 2-out single.
I was talking to John Gibbons today about Chris Colabello, and he said, you know, the guy has been great for us. He's gotten so many big hits.
Oh, right off the tip of the webbing.
He's lucky that he got his glove on that. That would have hit him in the coconut. Not a very good fielding position after his delivery. He's really fallen off to the left. It's something maybe that Neil Allen will work with him as the year progresses.
Here's Russell Martin. Duffy still trying to get that elusive third out here in the first inning. Trying to get the Twins off the field with the lead. Outside ball one.
And just a pile of pitches for the young pitcher. 26 here in the first inning. He still has a run lead.
At the knees. Tommy Malone's spot on the rotation. Malone came down with some forearm issues. Breaking ball gets a wild swing and a miss.
Very good breaking ball there. It's got real tight spin. Got a big hump in it, but a good location. That's what we saw in some of the highlights in the pregame, is breaking ball down in the zone.
Nice stop by Fryer, 2-2. And so now the 30th pitch of Duffy's first major league inning. Full count. And now Colabello will leave early from first. A shaky first inning for Duffy. Hoping this will be his last pitch of the inning. Third 3-ball count. The inning started with a leadoff walk to Tulowitzki. High fly right field. And Rosario ends the inning. Time for Tyler Duffy to take a deep breath when he gets to the dugout. He's still got a 1-run lead. Pelfrey is wearing Brian Dozier's jersey, and a larger uniform needed.
The Dozier twins.
And Pelfrey doing pretty much everything that Dozier did, mimicking his pregame stretching routine. And then Pelfrey decided to have a little fun with Trevor Plouffe as well, mimicking his batting stance. Playing catch out in front of the dugout like Brian likes to do. Here's Escobar taking strike one, leading off the second inning. Escobar, Fryer, and Robinson facing Drew Hutchinson. Both starting pitchers, I think, would like to forget about the first inning. 0-2 to Escobar. Back in the lineup at short. Eduardo Nunez got the start there last night. I suppose you can make the analogy regarding a shortstop on a baseball team and a quarterback on a football team. If you've got three of them, you don't have one. People say that about quarterbacks in the NFL. If you got three quarterbacks, you really don't have one. And that's kind of what this season's been about for the Twins. There's a check swing 2-2. They've tried everybody. Danny Santana was the guy, but now he's frankly struggling in the minor leagues. He's the designated hitter for Rochester tonight. Escobar's had a shot. Nunez has had a shot. Even Doug Bernier got a couple of games. And now 3-2. And of course, Escobar did such a good job last year. And Santana was one of the revelations, we all thought, offensively when he played center field principally for the Twins last year.
And Nunez there. I think they have to play a considerable bunch of games together to really get comfortable defensively. It's a hard position to be a utility man for, although that's part of what utility men do, is be able to play all the infield positions other than first base.
Escobar stretched the count out full, and now he takes a wild one and takes a walk. It was 0-2 and Hutchinson lost him.
Well, they say Hutchinson does that a lot. He'll get ahead with two quick strikes and then walk guys because he's trying to be so tricky or picky that he doesn't pound the strikes on.
There's Eric Fryer. Fryer 3 hits, 15 at bats, a double, couple of runs batted in. Very high again.
You can kind of understand why John Gibbons and pitching coach Pete Walker of the Jays kind of have a short leash with Hutchinson when he's got these kind of nibbling things going on. And yeah, there's some activity already in the Blue Jay bullpen. They don't want to let this game get out of hand.
Too much at stake.
Yeah, for them right now. And really, if you really look at it, it's the same things at stake for the Twins. But already, he's got Bo Schultz warming up.
That's just the Blue Jays prior to the trading deadline, as they say, push their chips into the middle of the table. They gave up some prospects to get David Price and Tulowitzki and assumed a lot of payroll. So there is some urgency.
Huge numbers difference there between home games and road games for Hutchinson.
1-1. And Fryer looks at it, takes ball 2. Fact of the matter is, Hutchinson has faced 7 men. He's retired 2 of them. And Dozier's out was a very loud one. Took a great catch by Donaldson to catch his line drive. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Fryer drove in a couple of runs in his Twins debut this year. Robinson in the on-deck circle. Robinson in the bat. You can follow live Twins baseball every day with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected to the Twins all season with MLB.tv Game of the Day, in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, and more. Browse the app's new features, including StatCast tracking videos and bilingual access for Spanish-speaking fans. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Here is Robinson with Escobar checked at first. Saw the Twins try a hit and run in the first inning without the lead.
And Robinson puts the bat on the ball pretty well too, so maybe Paul might try it again here. Donaldson's up on the line, right on the grass, I should say, right even with the bag at third base, just in case Robinson might try to lay one down for a swing or a base hit punch.
The strike. I don't know that Robinson necessarily agrees. He looks back at Tom Woodring. Robinson's 5'10", and I think he thought that pitch was about 5'9". One strike. And strike two. See, the first pitch was up out of the strike zone. Second pitch within the rectangle. 0-2 to Shane Robinson. That's punched to left, and that'll be down for a hit. Escobar will gain second base. Well, frustrating for Hutchinson. He got ahead of Escobar 0-2 and walked him. Just got ahead of the #9 hitter 0-2 and saw Robinson make contact for the fourth hit already for the Twins.
Yeah, pretty good location, but Shane Robinson can put the bat on the ball like we talked about, and that ball was just placed almost like you serve it in tennis, right over the net.
Hicks started the 3-run first inning with a sharp single to center. Scored on Sano's base hit. When asked about the new lineup, there's strike one. When asked about the revised lineup with Hicks leading off, Paul Molitor said, well, it's just, you know, we're going day to day here and we'll see what happens. But 3-run first inning, 4 hits, first time through the lineup, couple of walks. Smothered by Martin. The Twins come out with 5 or more runs here today. There's, I would guess, a decent chance, particularly if Hicks gets on base a couple of times.
Yeah, the Jays defense playing straight away. There's no shifts of any sort with the runners on, but Aaron can spray the ball to all fields, both right-handed and left-handed, so they're pretty much playing them straight up.
1-1 to Hicks. Took ball 2.
Good take right there. That pitch was close.
First time through the order, and Hutchinson retired 3 batters. Double play ground. And that ends it. Hicks wraps into a double play. The Twins lead it 3-2.
scrambling to get to Toronto.
They told us at spring training, make sure you have your passport with you. Well, I'm not assuming anything. I started in AA this year, so I was just hoping to be in AAA, for the season. And, the one place I would get called up to is Toronto, not having my passport. So 6 a.m. yesterday, my dad had to catch a flight to Rochester with my passport and his passport. And then we drove up yesterday and got the scenic route to Toronto. So it's been a pretty wild 48 hours so far.
Quick hit to start the second for Tyler, but he's got lots of family here tonight. He says his 93-year-old grandmother would have done anything to be here, but she doesn't have a passport either, guys, so she is at home along with the rest of Twins territory cheering on Tyler Duffy tonight.
Well, thank you, Jamie. An opening base hit in the second. Ryan Goins with a ground ball, and it almost looked like the turf might have been a factor there. Brian overreached, it appeared. Ball hit off the heel of his glove. So a leadoff single here in the second, and now Kevin Pillar. And there's strike one.
Well, Duffy's been pitching out of the stretch here primarily. He's going to have to do it again with that infield hit by Goins. Maybe he can get another ground ball, hopefully get a double play ball. He does keep the ball down fairly well, so he could induce some ground balls.
1-1. Both Drew Hutchinson and Tyler Duffy hoping to do what Mark Burley did so well against the Twins at Target Field earlier this year. Twins got a big number up against Burley in the first inning, and then Burley shut the Twins down. Now Burley's had the benefit of 500 more major league starts than Duffy.
Well, there's a major difference in the time between pitches. Both
yes, that's true.
And Drew Hutchinson and Mark Burley.
1-1 to Pillar. Pulled foul. And it's 1-2. Duffy, as we said, last year started in Class A ball, went to AA, then AAA. This year he started in AA, went to AAA, now is here in the bigs. Bolabello was predicting a great career for Duffy at this level. One and two. Pass Bluth into left. Now the Blue Jays with a walk and 4 hits in their first 8 plate appearances. A lot of former Twins here with the Blue Jays, and this is without Danny Valencia, who was designated for assignment. R.A. Dickey was a reliever. Revere, of course, the center fielder. Troy Hawkins, Liam Hendricks, Chris Colabello more recently. And here is Revere looking for his first hit with the Blue Jays. 0 for 13. Bunted, foul, 1 strike. John Gibbons saying before the game that Revere has not been welcomed by this slower artificial turf. When Revere was with the Twins, he was told time and time again, don't hit the ball in the air. Hit the ball on the ground. Use your speed. Well, here, this might be the slowest surface in the major leagues right now, and Revere's still looking for his first hit. They've been saying in the Kansas City series over the weekend, Revere had a couple of balls that he thought would be hits, but the artificial turf just swallowed them up. 1-1.
Duffy could use that friendly ground ball right now. Ben Revere runs very well, so it's going to have to be hit hard at second or short.
Twins still thinking there might be a chance for a bunt here. To the mound, and Duffy fires to first. He might have had a play at any of the 3 bases there, but he got the sure out.
Well, he's taught to take the out he might have been able to spin. Trevor Plouffe was going back to the bag. He had plenty of time to get going at third base, get that lead runner. And he also thought about a double play ball. Now, Paul Mahler's out of the dugout. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure I know what it is, because I just asked Paul about this the other day, about reviewing plays on the infield. And the first play he mentioned is bunters stepping out of the box and putting their feet out of the box when they bunt. And I'm thinking that's what he showed, or what he tried to tell Tom Woodring that Revere did. Gene Glynn, you can see, telling the infield to play back for Tulowitzki. But it's odd that that's the first play that Paul mentioned about reviewable plays in the infield, with bunts, illegal bunts, with the foot out of the batter's box. No swing. Watch Revere's back foot. It's on the line, which I think means it's still in the box, right? You can be on the line. And that's just a guess on my part. But Paul came out, had some words with Tom Woodring, and then went back to the dugout. 1-0 to Tulowitzki. And a breaking ball for a called strike.
I haven't seen that pitch from Duffy yet. That was an off-speed breaking ball. Took a little off his slider there.
1-1, and Duffy needs a little good fortune here to keep the Twins in front. Just off the outside corner. 2-1. Duffy ran the count full to Tulowitzki and then missed inside to issue a leadoff walk. And now 3-1. There's a base open. The hottest right-handed hitter in the league, Josh Donaldson's on deck.
Duffy's pitch count just real high already here. Second inning, only one out. Got trouble again with runners at second and third, and the heart of the lineup at the plate and coming up.
Challenged him.
Reached back and threw the fastball.
3-2. What Fryer calls for here. In the first inning, the 3-2 pitch was a high, tight fastball. Down the middle. A called third strike with Tulowitzki barking at Woodring. 2 down.
Well, that was a strike all the way. It just locked up Tulowitzki because it had real good movement. That's his sinker, and it splits the plate about knee high. That's a very good pitch right there.
2 down, and now Donaldson. And the meeting on the mound here, Plouffe, Fryer, and Duffy. Donaldson with a home run, 1 each in all 3 games so far. Strike 1.
Duffy making some pretty good pitches here against Tulowitzki. The first pitch to Donaldson, a good breaking ball, good location, outer part of the plate.
Outside, 1-1.
With Donaldson, you need to throw a ball in. You have to show him something in so that outer part of the plate is more yours. You can't always stay out there. This is a smart hitter. The reason he's such a good hitter is because he will look in a zone and stay in that zone.
A speed pitch and a big swing and a miss. 1-2.
Good movement on the changeup.
Second inning started with a pair of hits. Sacrifice bunt.
It's one thing we've seen here with Duffy is he's got tremendous movement. He's got a good breaking ball with big movement, and he's got a good moving fastball and changeup.
92 off the plate, 2-2. Has the luxury of having a base open here. Donaldson nearly a 300 hitter. Bautista hitting 233. Two and two. The all-star third baseman. Breaking ball. Donaldson wouldn't bite.
Another thing that makes Josh Donaldson such a great hitter is he likes to know you get 2 strikes on him and you think you can get him to chase, and they just don't chase. And that's what really sets Josh Donaldson apart.
Full count to Donaldson. Breaking ball. And Donaldson takes a walk, and they're loaded up now for Bautista. Got ahead of him. Tried to get him to chase. He wouldn't. And now Bautista with the bases loaded. And here comes Neil Allen. Duffy was in spring training, was sent to the minor league side in the middle of March. So there's some familiarity here. But at the time that Duffy was in camp, Neil Allen was trying to get to know everybody.
Yeah.
He came from outside the organization, and he didn't know any more about Phil Hughes than he knew about Tyler Duffy.
That's quite a long chat here. Home plate umpire Tom Woodring out to kind of break it up. But Neil probably given positive reinforcement there, and also wants to make sure that he doesn't throw the ball right down the middle. I mean, it's kind of, these are the tough situations. This is what makes and breaks pitchers. And you got one of the game's better home run hitters at the plate, and you got bases loaded. It's never a good position to be in.
Way out in front with a breaking ball, strike one.
Now, I promise you that guy right there, Jose Bautista, has one thing on his mind, and it's somewhere up there around Tony Fernandez and Joe Carter.
'53rd pitch already for Duffy. A breaking ball missing.
There's the level of excellence here at Rogers Center. Some of the former Blue Jays numbers have been retired.
Tom Cheek, the Ford Frickle award-winning broadcaster who passed away several years ago. 2-1. Bautista walks more than he strikes out.
Twins are getting right-hander J.R. Graham up and throwing.
3-1 with the bases loaded. The Blue Jays lead it 6-3. Innings in the minor leagues, but here in the big leagues, the Blue Jays have already taken him deep twice. And now Edwin Encarnacion. Pretty much the same pitch, it looked like, that Donaldson hit out in the first inning.
Bautista loves the ball down and in. That ball came right into where he loves to swing.
2-0 and Fryer to the mound. Rough major league debut for Tyler Duffy.
It's a tough team to start your major league career against. They're as good as anybody in the game right now. You're going to have to make good pitches, but it probably is a great lesson in some aspects for a kid that has success at AAA, and especially with the home runs, and thinking that I don't give up home runs, and bam, 2 of them. And 2 of those home runs, or both home runs, had a guy on base because of the walk.
Popped up behind second base. Dozier retreats under it to end the inning. Duffy with a 2-run home run allowed in the first and a grand slam to Bautista in the second. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. A CN tower and a see-through elevator. I don't like that idea at all.
Well, the Willis Tower in Chicago has the walk-off thing at the top. You can look down on the street, but this way you can actually go up and down and watch how high and low you're getting.
And I don't know that I'd necessarily enjoy that. Dozier taking it, right? Huh? Don't look down. Dozier hit a liner caught by Donaldson in the 3-run first inning. The Twins had a 3-0 lead, but now 2 Toronto home runs later, and it's 6-3. Dozier, Mauer, and Sano. And as you so accurately pointed out, more run support for Drew Hutchinson. He hasn't been sharp at all, but he's got a 3-run lead. 2 strikes to Dozier.
He's averaged almost 8 runs a game. He's already got 6. Some of the Jays people have told me he could easily have 13 or 14 wins right now.
1-2. Tired just 4 of the first 10 batters he faced, and now he's nibbling around Dozier. 2-2. That's kind of what Duffy did in the second inning. I mean, he just struck out Tulowitzki, got him looking, got ahead of Donaldson 1-2. Checked his swing 3-2. And then before you know it, Donaldson gets his walk, and then you fall behind Bautista.
Yep. He was hoping that he could get Donaldson to swing out of the zone, but Donaldson rarely does that. And he threw him breaking ball after breaking ball that was out of the zone.
Fouled back. Still 3-2. Hutchinson with an opponent batting average of .298. Twins have been hitting just .103 over their last 5 games.
Well, another thing that the Twins have been guilty of is getting a few runs and then not scoring again. So it'd be nice to see them put some more runs on the board.
And Dozier thought that was ball 4. And now home plate umpire Tom Woodring, I think, telling him he's just been fined for getting rid of the equipment in the manner in which he did. Pretty much the same pitch that Tulowitzki took. So Dozier strikes out looking, one down, and that'll bring up Joe Mauer, who drew a walk and scored. Fouled away, one strike. This has not been a good matchup for the Twins in a long time, this matchup with Toronto.
Yeah.
Twins have won just 16 of the last 56 games. They're 16-40. And here in Toronto, they are 8-21 going back to the middle of 07. And what makes those numbers particularly alarming is the Twins have had some division winning teams since the 07 season. They've had some really good teams, but it doesn't seem to matter. It's just one of those teams that Twins have a tough time beating. 2 strikes now to Mauer. And now up and away.
Yeah, on the reverse
You want to
of that,
bet the count's going to go 3-2 here.
the reverse of your statement is that the Blue Jays have not had any postseason in those years.
Not backing out of play. Twins with some work ahead of them here. Now down by 3 runs. Didn't take the Blue Jays long to make up an early 3-run deficit. Mauer strikes out. And Hutchinson has one looking and one swinging here in the 3rd inning. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthDataStrongFan and might just see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. 2 down, and now Sano dropped a single into center, scoring a run. One and 0. Twins had a good inning in the first. And Plouffe got picked off, and everything turned upside down again. Didn't so much get picked off. He took off for third early and couldn't get back to the second base bag. Hopped up, and Colabello down the line, and can't make the play on the different colored turf. Goins was in the vicinity as well.
Long run for Colabello and Goins and Bautista. They all kind of got into the general area. The ball did hit Colabello's glove.
1-2 to Sano. And now 2-2. We give Colabello an error, which will allow Sano at least one more strike here. And he takes one on the outside corner. Hutchinson strikes out the side twice with a called 3rd strike. down for Toronto.
Josh Donaldson got it going. That's the first home run of this game. A 2-run homer in the first inning, bottom of the first. And then with bases loaded, Jose Bautista gets a pitch down in his wheelhouse. Grand slam puts the Jays ahead by 3, 6-3 here as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. J.R. Graham will come and pitch now for the Twins, making his 29th appearance. And he's been giving up a few long balls himself, so it'll be interesting to watch. He needs to extend this game a little bit. He's going to have to try to pitch some innings for the Twins.
Colabello, the first batter he'll face, and the ball lined to Dozier, 1 away. 1 down, and that'll bring up Russell Martin. We want to pass along sad news. A good friend of ours, Gene Harrington, passed away yesterday. And Gene, a longtime member of the Twin Cities media, over 60 years broadcasting on radio and TV. And Gene passed away after an illness. So our very best wishes to his wife Betty and Greg, grandson Matt. He was quite a character, and I think everybody who came into contact with Gene was better because of it. He was just a happy guy.
Good man. His son, I went to high school with Greg, and yeah, it's my thoughts are with you.
1 down. Here's Russell Martin, 1-0. Popped up, and Mauer over for a look. And as it turns out, a catch. 2 down. 2 quick, easy outs for J.R. Graham, and the Twins will take that.
It'd be nice to get the Twins right back in the dugout and see if they can peck away at that lead. The Twins need to put some more runs on the board. They can't just roll over here after scoring a few early. And that's one thing Paul has really been concerned about. That he wants them to keep grinding it out every at bat, every out of the game.
Doan's the batter. Singled and scored in the second. Led off the second with a single off the glove of Dozier. Then Pilar followed with a single to left. And then Duffy went to work. Revere bunted for a sacrifice, and then Duffy struck out Tulowitzki, but then ran into a second wave of trouble in the second inning. 0-2. To the Toronto second baseman. And off the plate. Strike 3, but it rolls away from Fryer. And Goins will reach on a strikeout. Graham with a strikeout, but the pitch looked like it was in the dirt and rolled away from Fryer. Oh, that's a pass ball.
Yeah, he did not get down and block that ball the way he should have.
Hit him in the glove, never even touched the dirt before it hit the glove. Now Kevin Pilar. Well, that's another thing you can't do. You can't give this Toronto lineup an extra out. That's potentially one more at bat for Donaldson, Bautista, Tulowitzki, Colabello, Encarnacion.
Well, this guy at the plate has had a very good year for Toronto. Kevin Pilar has fought his way through the minor league systems. He's hit 300 on almost every level. He's kind of an overachiever kind of guy that just always feels like he's got a battle for a position, but he's won a center field job under John Gibbons here. And even with the acquisition of Ben Revere, they feel that Pilar is a better defender in center than Ben Revere is because of his arm.
2-0 with 2 gone. 95 and over for a strike. Graham got one start earlier this year, gave the Twins 4 innings. Popped up near the mound, and Dozier with the catch. A clean third inning for J.R. Graham. Twins need to start swinging the bats again on the fourth. Of catching the New York Yankees, and the Yankees got some more bad news. The Sanford Health injury report. Michael Pineda, who last pitched against the Twins, has a right forearm strain. They say they don't expect him back later this month now. Trevor Plouffe takes strike one from Drew Hutchinson. The margin is just 5.5 games, and this Toronto team has been playing really good baseball. Here's a ball hit off the knuckles and a little ground ball. Plouffe late getting out of the box, and he's thrown out, one down. He got jammed badly, one away.
Well, that's not going to set well in the dugout. Trevor did not make any effort to get out of the box at all there. He kind of just watched the ball. And you got to hustle out of the box. That's something that Paul will absolutely demand to do.
One down now, Rosario. Rosario with a fly to center on the pitch after Plouffe got picked off second base. Now a pop-up. And a couple of very quick, ineffective at-bats in the fourth inning. And that's not going to sit well with the manager, who I think his patience has been stretched thin anyway during this bad stretch. One thing to give up a lead and all that, but as you said, after the third inning, you still have to have competitive quality at bats. Second time through the order, and Hutchinson's retired all 6 men.
That's just something that you learn, and you can have everybody preach it to you, but you've got to understand it, number one. And that man right there understands this as well as anybody, and I think he relays the message as well as anybody. And if you don't respect what he's accomplished, you don't respect the game itself.
One and two to Escobar. Escobar fell behind 0-2 and then got a leadoff walk. Twins 3 runs in the first, had a threat in the second, but then Hutchinson got a ground ball double play off the bat of Hicks. And as you said with Hutchinson, if you just bear down and grind away some at bats, you're going to have some other opportunities to score.
put a little pressure on him, because he's the kind of guy that'll nibble himself. He gets ahead and he's trying to make perfect pitches. He'll make mistakes.
Poke foul. In the third inning, Hutchinson struck out Dozier, Mauer, and Sano. Dozier and Sano looking. Plouffe with a quick ground out. Rosario with a first pitch pop up. It's a fly ball to center. It'll carry out to Pilar. Now he's got to come in and make a catch. And now set 7 in a row set down by Drew Hutchinson. FM invites you to Faith Night 2015, a post-game event following the August 29th game between the Twins and the Astros. Enjoy the game and then stay for post-game live music from Unite Twin Cities and special Twins player appearances. For details and tickets, visit twinsbaseball.com/Faith Night. Ben Revere dropped down a sacrifice, and Graham misses inside, ball 1. Revere bunted back toward the mound, and then pitcher Tyler Duffy got the out at first. The fact that first base was open might have impacted how they pitched to Josh Donaldson a little bit later. Got ahead of him, then lost him to fill the bases, and then Bautista on a 3-1 pitch hit the grand slam. 2-0. And Revere has his first hit as a Blue Jay. Revere might very well be a key acquisition. Tulowitzki got a lot of headlines. Obviously, David Price got a lot of headlines. But this guy's a 300 hitter. He's not going to walk a whole lot. But in this day and age, a number 9 hitter sometimes is a very speedy guy, and Revere obviously fills that bill. Now back to the top of the order in Tulowitzki.
Well, Ben all smiles. He knows what he just accomplished. The crowd acknowledged it. And now the Twins find themselves in a little bit of trouble again with a guy who can run as the leadoff man on first base.
Third time in 4 innings that the Blue Jays have gotten their leadoff man on. And Tulowitzki, maybe stewing about that called third strike in the second inning, chased a high fastball, 1 strike.
It's quite a trio at the top of the order for the Blue Jays.
Tulowitzki with just 3 games worth of at-bats, coming over from the Rockies. Donaldson's hit against the Twins now in 23 straight games, and in this series has a home run in all 3 games. 1 strike. to Tulowitzki. Again, high cheese and a swing and a miss. Tulowitzki, talking about the home run yesterday, said, you know, it was nice here. He doesn't have to be the guy. He was in Colorado, but he's got a supporting cast here, the likes of which he never had in Colorado.
The thing is, once you're the guy, you want to be the guy. And I don't, you know, he's saying, sure, the pressure isn't quite as bad, but I promise he still wants to be the guy. He just freezes there. He's looking breaking ball. And J.R. Graham throws a fastball right down Broadway and locks him up.
2 high fastballs and then 1 at the knees. Donaldson started the Blue Jay comeback with a first inning home run. His 29th of the year. He's got 80 runs batted in. 6 games against the Twins, he's hit 5 home runs.
You know, I don't know about Bert, but I sit here and I have to watch this over and over again, and I just want to take the ball and show some people some things. I wish I could.
Pitch location?
Something like that.
Donaldson, as damaging as the 2-run home run was, the walk he took in the second. Now, to be fair, Duffy's 1 or 2 strike pitches weren't tempting. I mean, they weren't close. But nevertheless, Donaldson took them, drew the walk, and then in the next at bat, Bautista hit the grand slam. 1 strike. Fryer slides to his right. 1-1.
I know, and I don't want this to be about me, but I'm saying in generalities. I know that there's some different guys that separate the number 1s from the number 3, 4, and 5 starters in the league. And I think the number 1s relish the chance to pitch against the best because they feel that they get out the best, they are amongst the best. And I think great players play their best against the best. And the other players play good against the weak and the guys that are struggling. And that's why I think these series that the Twins are going through right now, watching a red-hot Blue Jay team, are so important. There's so much you can learn just by watching and paying attention. And that man right there, he knows all about it. He's been through it. He's lived it. Gone to the Hall of Fame because of it.
1-2 to Donaldson and a strikeout.
Good pitch right there from J.R. Graham. His 3rd strikeout already.
That'll bring up Bautista.
See the good crisp breaking ball down and away. Donaldson looking to hit another one in the seats. Kind of pulls off that pitch a little.
Bautista with a fly to center and then the grand slam to turn the game around, at least for the time being. Ball 1. Ball missing. 2-0. And now 3-0 with Encarnacion on deck. mentioned it the other night. I think this Toronto lineup was deep. Then they got Tulowitzki. Twins have taken 24 intentional walks this year. Blue Jays have taken 5. And a fastball on the outside corner.
Well, and the reason for that, for the novice fan out there, is because they don't want to walk a guy in this lineup because the next guy is just as productive as the guy you just walked. And that's why there's so few intentional walks against the Jays. And we're talking about the entire league.
And a walk putting Batista over. Closest thing the Twins had to a clean inning was 3rd. Last year, Glover Teixeira took the champ to the limit, while Ovince St. Preux took only seconds to destroy a legend. Saturday, watch 2 of the sport's most ferocious heavyweights collide on UFC Fight Night, with coverage beginning at 9 p.m. Central, only on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Here's Encarnacion. He's popped up twice to Dozier. Down and away, ball 1. Now Graham had that nearly clean inning in the 3rd. He struck out Goins as a pass ball charge to Fryer, and then Pilar popped up to end the inning. But if Graham can put up some zeros here, and if the Twins can improve the quality of their bats, 2-0. But right now, let's worry about the initial phase of that, because Graham is struggling a little bit here after the 2nd out.
What you're saying is there's still a lot of baseball left.
Well,
and there's still a very good opportunity for the Twins to get back in this game. Everybody has to do their job. Baby steps.
2-0. Wow. Rocketed into the 2nd level. And so much for the 0 in the 4th inning.
I think that one is definitely defined as a no-doubter. Fastball up in the zone. Edwin Encarnacion hits one right underneath the Budweiser sign, which is a long way. Outer half of the plate, but belt high. Tremendous extension for Edwin. That's a home run swing if I ever saw one right there.
So now the 2nd place hitter, the 3rd place hitter, and the 4th place hitter have all hit multi-run home runs for Toronto. And the Blue Jays have opened up a 9-3 lead. Here is Colabello. Swing and a miss. Colabello with a single in the 1st, and then he lined out to Dozier in the 3rd.
Another walk comes around to score on one of the home runs.
Nine unanswered runs for Toronto. Colabello asks for time, and Graham takes a stroll halfway to second base. And now missing inside. It's 1-1. Twins took 2 out of 3 from Toronto in Minnesota. And even in losing the first 2 games of this series, they've done an admirable job keeping the Blue Jays lineup somewhat in check, but not tonight. Up and in, 2-1. In 5 prior games, the Twins average giving up just 4 runs a game to this Toronto lineup. They average more than 5. But tonight they have erupted. So far 9 runs. 2-2. At left home plate at 105.8 miles per hour.
Well, he's strong. He's probably the strongest of all the Jays hitters. And when he gets that kind of extension, I mean, that swing was as powerful of a home run swing as you'll ever see.
And 3-2.
And he caught the ball on the sweet part of the bat. I mean, I've seen a lot of home runs hit in this building. That ball was right there at the Budweiser sign. I mean, that's a monster shot there.
This will be the 35th pitch for Graham. He had a very quick third inning, but not so much here in the fourth. 24 pitches this inning.
Twins defense has done a lot of standing around again in this game.
Dozier gets the second hop. Colabello thrown out, but a big hit between the second and third out. A 3-run home run by Edwin Encarnacion, and it's 9-3. Promising start to the ball game. Twins scoring 3 runs early, and then the Blue Jays started swinging the bats. Pepsi fans of the game. Drew Hutchison pitching to Eric Fryer. It'll be Fryer, Robinson, and Hicks here in the 5th inning. First time through the order, the Twins were very successful. Series of great at bats, productive at bats, hits, walks, what have you, and now 7 in a row set down by Hutchison.
Hutchinson was on the ropes there, and they had activity. Bo Schultz, their right-hander, was up and throwing, and now he has settled in a little bit. Huge run support again. Actually, his run support will go up no matter how many innings he goes.
Fryer 16 at bats, 9 strikeouts on the season. And another one. 8 in a row set down by Hutchison.
Now there's the league run support leaders. Drew Hutchison only trailing Nathan Eovaldi of the Yankees. And with 9 runs today, that might get close to tying him or surpass him.
Mark Burley will start tomorrow for the Blue Jays. Here's Shane Robinson. Outside ball 1. Robinson with a single. The last Twins hit, it came with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Knocked down, picked up by Donaldson, and Colabello can't backhand it. Robinson reaches. Donaldson knocked it down, spun and fired, and he threw to the backhand side of Colabello, who couldn't dig it out. And that'll bring up Aaron Hicks with a man aboard.
They're going to give him an error.
Donaldson getting the error. And now Hicks, who singled and scored in the first. Twins had runners at first and second, one down in the second, and Hicks hit a ground ball right at Tulowitzki for a double play. That's hit to the left field corner. Revere chasing it, and he won't get there. One hops the wall. Robinson will be held at third, and Hicks has a double to the opposite field corner.
Well, Aaron Hicks' second hit of the game. So there's a bright spot for the Twins in the new leadoff position. Aaron Hicks doing a good job. See this ball tail away, and Aaron just good head down swing, goes with the pitch. Got good carry, and then it's about base running from that point on. Ben Revere not going to get to this ball.
And now Dozier lined out to Donaldson and was called out on strikes in the third.
Twins trail by a lot, but these are important runs to pick up right here. This is what Paul would like to see his team do when they have opportunities.
And Dozier on the first pitch pops it up in foul ground. Martin gets turned around and falling down makes the catch for out number 2. Dozier gone on one pitch. But he lost the ball in the twilight. That's entirely possible here with the roof open. But then he found it and caught it.
Yeah, you can see when he threw his arms up there that he didn't know exactly where the ball was.
And now Mauer walked and scored in the first, struck out swinging in the third.
This is the guy that needs the base hit right now.
You want to in the 5th inning down by plenty, but you want to convince everyone, maybe even some guys in your own dugout, that you're still in this game. A hit to the outfield here will likely score a couple.
Well, when you got your franchise player hitting in this position, he's the guy that's got to lead by example and show everybody that the game's not over.
Check this swing. No, 1-1. Inside, 2-1. And Mauer with a base hit to left. He'll drive in a pair with a 2-out single. Robinson scores and Hicks right behind.
Good to see that right there. Joe staying with the pitch. He works the count to get to the pitch. The ball's away. He's threw a good classic Joe Mauer swing on that ball, shooting it out to left field, but his head was down there, and we haven't seen that in a while from Joe. So he picks up 2 RBIs, and it might be something that goes a little unnoticed in this kind of blowout game, but those are big runs. And maybe that'll spark the Twins.
Yeah, Sano backs it up with a hit here. It's not a blowout game anymore. And Sano takes up and away ball 1. Sano singled in a run. He got jammed. Probably broke his bat in the first inning. But he gave the Twins a 1-0 lead, and then he was called out on strikes in the third. And Sano tried to add 2 more on the board for the Twins. A foul, and it's 1-1. outside. If it isn't at bat, it'll be his 89th of his big league career.
Pitching coach Pete Walker getting the bullpen started again for Toronto.
Fouled away, 2-2. Sano with an on-base plus slugging percentage of about .900. Two and two. The Twins DH. And now a full count with Plouffe on deck. Liam Hendricks warming up in the Toronto bullpen. Full count to Sano with 2 down. A drive to left, and that one is a no-doubter. Sano with a 2-run home run, and it's a 4-run inning for the Twins in the 5th.
How good is that to see right there? Miguel Sano showing patience. Joe Mauer getting a big hit. You talked about it. One swing of the bat, and all of a sudden this is a ball game again. Twins score 4 of their own. A big hit right there from Sano, and that could change everything. What a swing there.
Sano hitting his 5th home run of the year. It's Pete Walker, the pitching coach, coming out. Of course, Drew Hutchison needs to complete 5 innings to be eligible to win the ball game, and that 15th out proving to be pretty elusive. Mauer driving in 2 with a single, Sano 2 with a home run, and it's a 9-7 ball game. Plouffe at the plate. Plouffe drove in a couple of runs with a double in the 1st inning. Pitch is up, ball 1.
Crazy as it might sound, these are the kind of games that could get a ball club going. They realize that a team.
Plouffe lifts it high and deep to left field, and Revere, short of the track, makes the catch. Good inning for the Twins. They get a couple of big 2-out hits. They've scored 7, but the Blue Jays have scored 9.
Right back in it with that swing of the bat.
CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. First pitch, a fastball. Russell Martin swings through it. Strike. Martin, Goins, and Pilar. The push for the Blue Jays to get into the playoffs actually began in the offseason when they signed this guy. They outbid some teams to bring Russell Martin because of his reputation as a great defensive catcher and a great framer of pitches. So I want to ask you, Jack Morris, who was the best pitch framer that you pitched to in your big league career? Because they universally, wherever he's played, pitching staff loves this guy for stealing those borderline pitches.
Well, I pitched Lance Parrish for years in Detroit, and by the time him and I, were done in Detroit, I think Lance was the best one I ever had.
Popped up, playable for Dozier. One down.
But it is an art. It takes time to learn that, because
you'll do a better job of explaining what that is than I will.
All right, what it is how you catch the ball with your glove. Now, when the ball's inside your right-hander, you want your glove to be open so that your thumb is basically on the plate, and you can take a pitch that might be 2 inches off the plate and catch it with your thumb on the plate, so it looks like it's a strike to the umpire. On the outside part of the plate, you'll turn if you're right-handed, which most catchers are, you'll turn your wrist over and do it the opposite way.
Brian Dunsing will come out of the Twins pen in relief of J.R. Grant.
Is he always catches the ball with his arm almost completely extended, and he's able to pull the ball back in towards his body, which makes it appear from an umpire standpoint that everything is always coming into him and that the ball is more on line from the pitcher. It looks more like a strike.
Here's Goins facing Brian Dunsing. Every once in a while you'll see a catcher, even at the big league level, actually move the glove laterally.
And that makes it hard for anybody to get strikes. When they're kind of jerking at the ball, a good soft, we call it soft hands with a catcher, where he's always bringing the ball back to him. It appears from an umpire standpoint that it's strikes all the time.
2-0 to Ryan Goins. Dunsing coming in. Twins in position now where they really need a few more zeros up on the board. And Dunsing misses with his first 3 pitches.
Yeah, this is a big sequence here for Brian now. This game is right back for anybody to decide. The Twins got back into this. It started with an error from Donaldson, and the Twins went to work.
And a 4-pitch walk. Bryant had 11 straight scoreless outings and then a bad homestand. Third of an inning, 2 runs allowed to the Pirates, and then 1 run. Nobody retired against Seattle. The Twins take on the Rangers August 11th through the 13th at Target Field. Tuesday features the U.S. Bank Value Pack. Purchase a U.S. Bank Home Run Porch View ticket and receive a free Schweigert hot dog and Pepsi. Wednesday is Student Day, presented by Rasmussen College. Standing room tickets are just $5 for tickets, and they include a free ride on Metro Transit. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. Another man aboard with 1 down, and Pilar takes ball 1, and Fryer to the mound to try to get Dunsing back in the strike zone.
Yeah, Brian, a pitcher for the Twins now with quite a bit of experience out of the bullpen. He's one of the veterans out there, understands this situation, and he comes in and throws 4 balls and puts Goins on base. And you make a mistake like that, it usually comes back to hurt you, but Brian needs to make good pitches to Pilar now and hope that he can get that ground ball.
Pitching to the 8 and 9 batters. And a throw to first. With a single and a run scored and a pop-up to Dozier. And another throw to first. Well, it's a 2-run game. Goins, the runner at first, doesn't have a stolen base. He's been thrown out once.
What they like to do with Goins is Pilar pretty good at putting the ball in play, so they might hit and run, but yeah, he's got to, Brian Dunsing's got to hold him close.
And there's a strike. 1-1. One and 2. Left-handed relief corps in particular had a bad week during this stretch, with Glenn Perkins having had some ineffective outings, and now a couple in a row by Dunsing. 1-2. 2-2. Casey Fiend seems to have righted himself after a bad outing against the Pirates during the homestand.
Ryan O'Rourke, the one lefty in the pen that has really pitched very well.
Fly ball to right field. Rosario over and in. 2 down. And now the number 9 batter, Ben Revere. If you just joined us, Major League debut for Tyler Duffy. Twins gave him a 3-0 lead before he threw a pitch, but it unfortunately did not last very long. Duffy gave up a 2-run home run in the first, a grand slam in the second. J.R. Graham pitched to 2 1/3 innings, giving up 3 more runs. And now Dunsing in, trying to put a 0 up in the 5th. Would appear that Drew Hutchison is done for the night. Liam Hendricks continues to warm up down in the Blue Jay bullpen. Revere got his first Toronto hit in his last at bat. Soft line drive into center field. A 2-out walk followed, and then the 3-run home run by Encarnacion. One strike to Revere. To the right field corner, Rosario will play it on a hop. Rounding second, going to third is Goins. And Revere with a sacrifice bunt and 2 singles. And now Tulowitzki will bat with 2 men aboard. Tulowitzki with a walk and a run scored. And he was called out on strikes twice, and now Brian Dunsing's outing lasts just 3 batters. As as he will leave now. And Blaine Boyer will pitch next. We're just in the 5th inning, and the Twins are already on pitcher number 4.
Ninth appearance out of relief.
Long hole. Boyer's had a particular problem getting the first batter out. First batters are hitting .366 with some walks not included in that. 5 more walks on top of that. Right-handers in particular have given him trouble hitting well over 300. This guy's a pretty good right-handed batter. He's not having a particularly good night. He's taken 2 called third strikes, and now he's behind Boyer 0-2.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because Tulowitzki's been messed up a little bit with fastballs. He was sitting on a breaking ball when he was struck out in his first strikeout of the game in the 2nd inning by a fastball that he just was locked up on.
Rolls away from Fryer, and Boyer scampers toward home plate. 1-2. Spot here for Boyer and the Twins. They've just come back with 4 runs in the top of this inning. And everybody, I'm sure, in the lineup feels like there's more scoring to be done tonight. But you gotta
hold them in check and get them back in the dugout. They can't score on the field.
As crazy as it sounds, you gotta hold them to 9 here.
Yeah, even I never lost with 10.
I've thought about that so many times. You'd say to your teammates, give me 10. I'm undefeated with 10 runs of support, right?
That's right.
1-2. And now 2-2. Well, this is where this Toronto team, if they can stay healthy, is going to be in great shape here in August and September and maybe October if they make it there. The number 2 hitter is homered. The number 3 hitter is homered. The number 4 hitter is homered. And now maybe the biggest at bat of the game is here in the 5th. It's the leadoff batter. Oh, but his name is Troy Tulowitzki. 2-2. 3-2.
This has just been a chronic problem for the Twins as they get ahead and then they just can't put a guy away. And they go deep into counts trying to be too perfect. And this is where it's tough. You've got to throw a strike. Rarely does the hitter chase, especially experienced hitters like Tulowitzki and Donaldson, Batista, and Encarnacion. So you've got to put it over the plate, but you can't center cut it so they can hammer it. And that's why you don't want to go 3-2.
And they threw to third, and the runner at first, Revere, looked like he was ready to take off. You can't do the fake to third, throw to first anymore. But if they did, they might have been able to pick Revere off.
Yeah, Revere looked like he was off just running. 3-2 count with 2 outs. He's supposed to run.
Center, Hicks over to the gap. He makes the catch. And the Blue Jays threaten, don't score. And we've got a ball game. It's 9-7 going to the 6th.
Mulder had a team meeting before the game yesterday just to take the pulse of this team right now. And really, guys, the message was simple. He said we need to stay the course and just understand there will be slumps. It is being mentally strong enough to then climb out of those slumps. That's important. And several players have talked about not giving away at bats. And Torrey Hunter in particular likes to preach the idea of having what he calls amnesia. He says you need to be able to forget a bad game or even a bad at bat and just move on. So the Twins have climbed right back into this game, guys. Now they just need to keep it close.
Thank you, Jamie. Good to have Jamie back with us after missing last night, a bout of laryngitis.
Yeah, she's not one of the people that we want to have laryngitis.
No, there's some.
There's a few other ones, but not her.
Eddie Rosario will lead off the 6th against former Twin Liam Hendricks. And he shows bunt, takes a strike. It'll be Rosario, Escobar, and Fryer in the 6th inning. Hendricks has bounced around a little bit since his days with the Twins. Popped up. It's a foul ball. And it's back in the seats. 2 strikes.
Well, the Twins did a great job in the top half of the 5th inning to get back in this game. And now they have 4 more innings to tie this game, get ahead. They certainly have the ability to. Liam Hendricks is a guy they're familiar with.
0-2. And up and away, ball one. Rosario with a fly to center and a pop up to second. Butch Davis snags it. Nice play. Wins a fan. Don't know if he converted a fan from a Toronto fan to a Twins fan. That landed in front of the batter's box.
Anyway, keep clawing away. Any way to get on base here. Put a little pressure back on Toronto. Boyer did a good job of finishing off that inning, getting the guys back in the pen. Or excuse me, back in the dugout.
Rosario trying to protect the inside part of the plate. Although we saw Hendricks pitching out of the bullpen at 95 miles per hour.
Getting it up there, wasn't he?
A little bit faster than he threw. Of course, he was starting pitcher in the Twins organization. It wasn't that long ago that he was right where Tyler Duffy was today. Making his major league debut as a starter. And a breaking ball gets him. Rosario, first out of the sixth inning. Join Fox Sports North at the next viewing party tomorrow, beginning at 5:30 at Carboni's in Rosemount. Watch the Twins take on Toronto. Enjoy food and drink specials. Register for tickets and prizes and more. Visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on upcoming events on the Hot Topics bar. Here's Escobar, a walk and a fly ball to center. The ball hit to left, and Revere getting twisted around. That ball to the wall hits the very top of the fence and comes back into play. Escobar with a double, and Revere got turned around at least once, but when he got back there, it hit the very top of the fence, it appeared. And Escobar just missing a home run to the opposite field.
Just didn't think it was going to carry this far, but Escobar shoots the ball out to left. He's done that many times, and it does carry well. You can see right off the top, just like Dick said, Revere, I don't know if he could have played it any different than that. He could have turned around and picked up the ball, but Escobar
could have been taller.
Escobar was going to get to second anyway. So again, the Twins have a runner in scoring position.
And Eric Fryer, who's fallen into a deep strikeout rut, takes a strike.
Yeah, he just needs to make contact here.
"17 strikeouts and 17 at bats, 10 strikeouts." Going down and away with them on a regular basis, and the result is pretty much the same every time.
Ooh. 97,
but look at the spot. Where did that pitch miss? That looked like it was right on the black. The fictional black.
Talk about soft hands and a pitcher framing a ball, or catcher framing a ball. Russell Martin did a good job of that right there. And those pitches at 97, hard to frame them. That's right there again.
2 down. And now Shane Robinson.
Let's see the speed range, 78 on his change up and up to 97 on the heater.
Well, the Twins got a couple of big 2-out hits in the fifth. We'll look to get one from Robinson here. Throw to second with Escobar getting back. Twins have already lost a runner at second base when Plouffe was picked off in the first inning. Called back, 2 strikes. Well, they made a believer out of me. We've heard that when the roof is open here, the ball carries a lot better. John Gibbons reinforced that with us again before the game today. I didn't think Escobar's ball was going to be within an inch or two of clearing the fence. We've seen absolute rifle shots out of here to the second level tonight. Robinson stays alive.
I think it's pretty easy to say and pretty honest that this is a hitter's ballpark. It's not the easiest place to pitch in.
2 strikes to Shane Robinson. Robinson reached with 1 out in the 5th. Donaldson committed a throwing error, and the Twins got a double, a single, and a home run and put 4 runs up on the board. Now Escobar at second with 2 down. And Robinson strikes out. Escobar left at second. The Twins come up empty-handed in the 6th. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's, have bold for breakfast with the new chorizo burrito from McDonald's. Jamie Hurst, Jack Morris, Dick Bramer here at the Rogers Center. We got a wild one. Twins had an early 3-0 lead. And they were down 9-3. Now they've crept back to within 2 at 9-7. Josh Donaldson has seen some pitches up in the strike zone.
Yeah, all these here, the ones up and all the ones across the plate. Best place to pitch him is under the belt inside, but you've got to get it in there because he will open up.
Blue Jays run an ad campaign on the radio broadcast here where Donaldson says he modeled his swing after Jose Bautista's years ago, never imagining that they would be teammates. And Donaldson takes a call 3rd strike and can't believe it.
Pretty good location right there for Blaine Boyer after getting ahead in the count. He paints down and away, and that wasn't on the hot list right there. Great location. Perfect pitch. Pitcher's pitch. Irwin Merrill, former umpire, used to say Hall of Fame pitch.
Jose Bautista and Josh Donaldson have combined for 54 home runs this year with one swing apparently.
Blaine Boyer showing that he's got pretty good command here as he starts the 6th inning.
One strike. And now getting the inside corner.
Not where he wanted to throw it, but he got a good result.
And now off the plate, 1-2. Twins getting 2 innings from Tyler Duffy. 2 1/3 innings from J.R. Graham. 1/3 of an inning for Brian Dunsing. So far 2/3 of an inning for Blaine Boyer. One and 2 to Bautista. Jambian, 2 hopper to Plouffe. 2 down.
Gotten his pitch in there. Bautista's got a long looping swing, and that ball was elevated belt high instead of down and in. He couldn't really drop the head of the bat on the ball.
And now Encarnacion, who hit the most recent of the 3 home runs that have given the Blue Jays all 9 of their runs. A strike. And now a ball. Carsoup.com trivia. Who holds the Blue Jays record for most career RBI against the Twins?
Take a couple guesses, I suppose.
Popped up down the right field line. Rosario with a long run, and he can't get there. First, though, a question. Do you call them RBIs? Is RBI plural for you?
Well, I think it correctly should be called RBI.
That would be both the singular and the plural.
But yeah, I've always said RBIs. And it's not run batted ins, it's run batted in. So yeah, go figure. It's runs batted in. The plural is on runs.
Okay, I'll go with you on that one. 1 and 2 to Encarnacion. We might have a 1-2-3 inning here. On the ground, Escobar. A 1-2-3 inning, and we go to the 7th. Toronto 9-7 over the Twins.
Now, if you're looking for a pitcher's duel, you're going to have to look for another day. A lot of good swings. Home runs flying everywhere. The Blue Jays leading the charge with Donaldson, Bautista, Encarnacion. And Twins, one of their own. Miguel Sano shows that he's one of the big boys. Hits it up in the upper deck.
Bautista and Donaldson and Encarnacion homering. Aaron Hicks will hit against Brett Cecil, leading off the 7th inning. Pulled foul. In making the change to the left-hander, the Blue Jays have Hicks hitting from his preferred side, but as a left-handed batter tonight, Aaron had a pretty good start to his night with a couple of hits and a couple of runs scored. A single and a double, both hit sharply. Foul back, 2 quick strikes. Hicks, Dozier, Mauer. Two hits tonight, and Aaron's batting average is .280. Justin Smoak in at first base for Colabello. Smoak will lead off the bottom of this inning. In the dirt, 1-2. Again, the Twins with a different lineup tonight, with Hicks in the leadoff spot. Dozier dropping down to second. Paul Molitor said it was just a one-time only thing, but Twins have had problems scoring single runs for the last week or so, and now they've got a 3-run inning and a 4-run inning. Half swing, but he went. And Hicks is out on strikes, 1 down.
Good breaking ball from Brett Cecil there. Kind of locked up Aaron Hicks. Gave up on it and stayed in the strike zone.
Now Dozier's had a tough night at the plate. Lined out to Donaldson in his first inning at bat. Called out on strikes in the 3rd. Thought it was ball 4, and then fouled out on the first pitch of his at bat in the 5th. Pitch is up, ball 1. Dozier waves through an off-speed pitch, 1-1. Hits are even at 8 apiece. And foul. Twins with a 3-run first. Blue Jays scored the next 9 runs. And Dozier strikes out. Cecil has strikeouts to the first 2 batters here in the 7th.
Very big curveball from Brett Cecil, getting both Aaron Hicks and now Brian Dozier. Over the top curveball. See how it breaks down out of the zone, but tough to lay off.
Now Mauer, a walk and a run scored in the 1st, went down swinging in the 3rd, and then delivered a 2-run, 2-out single in the 5th. Ball 1. That's to the left field corner, but Revere is there. And Cecil strikes out 2 and has a quick top of the 7th.
forget, at Twins home games, bring your Circle Me signs. And if you get circled, you may find yourself in the Minnesota Lottery's Winner's Circle, where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
Well, the Twins back within a couple of runs, but now Justin Smoak is going to lead off the 7th against Kevin Jepson, making his 3rd appearance since coming over to the Twins in the deadline deal.
Well, the Twins have used 4 guys now out of the pen, and they're still in this ball game. I said it about Dunson and Graham and Boyer. Hold them close, and you never know. Now Jepson's going to come in. He got an inning in of work yesterday. Struck out 2 Jays hitters.
Smoak was brought into the game for defensive purposes, but he is a switch hitter. Much better from the other side of the plate. Well, then you look within the numbers. For whatever reason, he only has 14 at bats right-handed. He's got 152 left-handed. So if he was that much better, he'd be seeing a lot more action against left-handed. One and one. Fouled back, 1 and 2.
Well, John Gibbons must like his defense, because he's put him in a couple of times. When Encarnacion was playing first, he brought him in late, and now Colabella at first base, he's put him in as a defense replacement. He's getting it at bat here.
1 and 2. And strikes out. Jepson gets the first out of the bottom of the 7th. Join us August 16th for a Super America Not Whole Kids Day. The Twins taking on the Indians, and the first 5,000 fans 14 and under get a TC plush presented by Delta Airlines. Go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets. Get your tickets today. Russell Martin is 0 for 3. Fly ball, a pop-up, actually 2 pop-ups. Jepson delivers strike 1.
The Twins pitched him well in last night's game. He was 0 for 4 in last night's game. Doing a good job with Russell Martin. Maybe that can continue. They need to have somebody that they can get out.
Twins entered the day tied with the Orioles. They won out on the West Coast this afternoon. Top to the right side. Bauer to Jepson, 2 down. Go back to our Soup.com trivia question. I'm just going to go George Bell.
I'm going to go with Carlos Delgado.
Okay.
Lloyd
Shaker
Mo.
Huh. I could have been here till the end of the game tomorrow and I'd come up with Lloyd Mosby. 2 down in the 7th. Boyer retired the 4 men he was asked to get, and now Jepson's retired the first 2 in his inning. Goins will bat next. Down and away, ball 1. Red Sox leading the Yankees 2-1, top of the 9th inning. If that score holds, this score holds, the Blue Jays will just be 4.5 games back. The Blue Jays go to New York, right after this series ends tomorrow night.
Yeah, 3 quick days in New York, and then they're back home.
There are 13 games left between the 2 teams.
It's going to be an interesting series in Yankee Stadium this weekend. The Yankees have been playing well themselves. And Toronto certainly have been red hot lately. It'd be great to see the Twins just somehow come back and win this game. They'd be tied again with Toronto.
Now Goins draws a walk. He's reached all 4 times on a single, a strikeout, a pass ball, and now 2 walks. We'll bring up Pilar. Pilar with a single in 3 trips. Twins will have the middle of their lineup due up in the 8th. Starting with Sano. Strike 1. Left to pitch up, and Pilar tried to turn it around.
Two quick strikes on Kevin Pilar. 2 down. And I noticed that Eric Fryer has been looking in the dugout. I kind of am curious to see if he's looking for signals for Jepsen, or what Paul might want to do with the runner at first base. Sometimes you don't really know.
It's blocked by Fryer.
See Fryer going down to his knees. That's the proper position to block the ball. Get your hands and bury that pitch. If it bounces, it's off your chest protector.
Sometimes you'll see catchers just take the glove out of play altogether and let him hit the chest protector so it doesn't hit the edge of the mitt. Kick away. And he can't block that one, and Goins will go to second base. Well, we enjoyed it, didn't we, in the 6th inning when Boyer had a 1-2-3 inning. Nobody on base, no man in scoring position. And now with 2 outs, there's a walk and a wild pitch. The Blue Jays have a chance to add an important.
Every scoring opportunity for Toronto in today's game, there's been somebody on base with a walk.
You're absolutely right. 2-2 to Pilar.
Oh my.
That hit the front stripe of the left-handed batter's box. Back-to-back wild pitches. Pilar now will have a full count. No chance for Fryer in this pitch. At least not much of a chance.
Hit the chalk in the batter's box for a left-hander.
A 2-out walk and a pair of wild pitches, and now Goins is at third base. 3-2 to Pilar. And now he is walked, and Ben Revere with him.
No activity in the Twins' pen.
Jepsen's now walked 4 men in 2 innings as a Twin. Revere's got a good night going here with a sacrifice bunt in the 2nd and a pair of singles. Big spot here with the Blue Jays leading by a couple. Ball 1. Jepson now has thrown 18 pitches, 7 strikes. To center, and Hicks has to go back, still going back, but he is there for the catch. And the Blue Jays leave 2 men on. We head to the 8th. It's still 9-7. Miguel Sano will lead off the 8th inning for the Twins. Sano with a 2-run home run. Also had an RBI single in the first. See what he can get started for the Twins here.
New pitcher for the Jays, Mark Lowe. Most of those numbers came as a member of the Seattle Mariners.
Down and away, ball 1.
This is what Miguel Sano did in the 5th inning. 105.9, pretty much the same 0.1 miles an hour faster than Edwin Encarnacion's home run.
Swing and a strike, 1 and 0. I think Encarnacion's launch angle was a little bit lower.
Yes, it was a line drive where Sano's was a, well, let's put it this way, they were bombs, both of them.
There's a strike, but Martin didn't hang on to it. 1 and 2. Twins with a 3-run first, a 4-run 5th. Time for them to score again here in the 8th. See if Sano can get aboard to start the inning. Checked his swing, called, 3rd strike. No way. They'll bring up Blue.
Pitcher's pitch right here. Number 4 there on Fox Tracks.
Plouffe with a 2-run double. The Twins are still down by a couple of runs, and if they lose, it's another painful loss. But at least there's some presence in the middle of the lineup here. Mauer scored a couple of runs, driven in 2. Sano scored a couple of runs, driven in 3. Plouffe with 2 runs batted in.
Yeah, at least the Twins battled in this one, and showed a little sign of life with the bats.
Loop and a blast away from tying it up. Outside, 1-1. That's to right. And Bautista circles around it, comes in, makes the catch, out number 2. And now Rosario. 0 for 3. Made a habit of having too many offers. One of the reasons his average has stayed in the 270 to 280 range all year long. 0 for 3 tonight. Strike on the outside corner. Look at this Toronto team. And with the additions that they've made, they're one of the few teams in the league that doesn't have an apparent weakness. What's the Achilles heel with this Toronto team?
They added 2 guys in the pen, Mark Lowe and Troy Hawkins. Both guys can touch 96, 97 miles an hour. They added a starter. They added strength on the left side in the offseason, and then Tulowitzki. So
Lowe with a 1-2-3-8, and it's still 9-7. Can create. Tulowitzki homered last night. He's been held in check tonight. One of the 3 guys that Casey Fiend will face here in the Toronto 8th inning.
Yeah, only 2 hits in 9 plate appearances by the threesome, but both those hits are home runs.
Down and away, ball 1. Pitcher number 6 for the Twins after the 2-inning start for Tyler Duffy. And Fiend challenging him with a fastball, gets a swing and a miss.
Twins have really gone after Tulowitzki with fastballs tonight, and so far have had success with it.
On the ground, Escobar to Mauer, one away. As promised earlier in the game, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. You can tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag North Data Strong Fan, a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. Somebody emulating the great swing of Harmon Killebrew. That's brought to you by T-Mobile. Really missed Harmon his absence over the last weekend at the 65 reunion. Donaldson with a swing and a miss.
It was quite a weekend, really. It's fun to see the heroes of my childhood, and certainly miss a lot of the guys that are no longer with us.
So many key members of that team.
Yeah.
Harmon, Zoilo, Bob Allison. One and one. 2 and 1. Blue Jays knocked around Tyler Duffy for 6 early runs, and then they got a big 3-run home run in the 4th against J.R. Graham. Since then, bullpen's walked too many guys, but they haven't given up a hit. Excuse me, Revere got a base hit in the 5th. 2 and 2. And Fiend right back on the rubber. Across the letters high, 3 and 2. Duffy walked 2. Graham walked 1. Dunsing walked 1. Jepson walked 2. Just not good form against this Toronto lineup. If it's not smart to intentionally walk them, not very smart to unintentionally walk them either.
Just giving them gifts and extra men on base is never a good idea.
The leadoff walk to Tulowitzki set up Donaldson for not a solo home run, but a 2-run home run. There was a walk in front of Bautista's 3-run or grand slam, and then a walk in front of the 3-run home run by Encarnacion, and in each case right before the walk.
Another deep count from the Twins reliever, Casey Fiend, with 1 out.
And Fiend strikes out Donaldson, 2 down. Three straight strikeouts for Josh Donaldson.
Another McGass right here. He just throws the ball by him, up and in.
Bautista with the grand slam in the 2nd. Walked and scored in the 4th. One and 0. Hawkins might actually get a save opportunity against the Twins. Missing inside, 2-0.
Casey rushing his lower body with those 2 pitches, both up in the zone.
Big swing on 3-0. Bautista hit a 3-1 pitch about halfway to Winnipeg for a grand slam in the 2nd. to the gap. Playable for Robinson. And Fiend has a 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th. See what the Twins can get done in the top of the 9th. Has 124 big league saves, and he's never had one against the Twins.
That's pretty impressive. At least one save against everybody but the Twins, and maybe that's why John Gibbons has got him coming in here in a save situation.
127. He got 3 earlier this year for the Rockies, and he's being asked to get a save here in the 9th inning facing Escobar, Fryer, and Robinson, although Fryer very likely will be pinch hit for. In fact, Nunez is on deck circle for him right now. The Twins have some options as well with Torrey Hunter and Kurt Suzuki.
Now LaTroy came in and finished off the first game of this series, the day game, through a 1-2-3 9th inning with a strikeout.
And it'll be Escobar, who doubled off the top of the fence and left his last time up, just to get somebody on. That leadoff man on can change everything. Twins had the first lead, 3-0. Then it was 9-3. The Twins got 4 runs in the 5th and haven't scored since. Strike on the outside corner. Still 93 miles per hour. '21st year in the big leagues. Crack foul, 0-2. We said the other night, Troy Hawkins was drafted in the summertime when Jack Morris was in the middle of his only year with the Twins, 1991.
That's pretty incredible. It really is. The longevity that Troy has shown, and still throwing strong at his age.
Time he kind of quick pitched Escobar. Of course, he can do that. Nobody on base. But a veteran picking up a few tricks over the years.
Why not? You try everything. That's how you last that long. But more importantly, the condition that he's kept himself in, and the fact that he's still throwing in the high 90s, is pretty remarkable.
Two strikes to Escobar with Nunez on deck. field, and Escobar, the leadoff man, is aboard. Nice job by Escobar fighting off some 2-strike pitches and getting one out over the plate to poke it to left. Century Link. What's next? Tomorrow night, Mark Burley against Kyle Gibson.
Should be a good game tomorrow with those two guys on the mound. Kyle Gibson looking for his first W since the break. Mark Burley's had another great year with the Jays.
Here is Nunez with Robinson on deck. Down and away, ball 1. Chop foul, 1-1. Troy had a career high 28 saves for the Twins back in 2001, but had an ERA of almost 6. And the Twins put him in a setup role the next year. And Eddie Guardado took over as the Twins closer. Laced to center field. And the Twins are teeing off here against LaTroy Hawkins, first and second. Nobody out. And Robinson will come to the plate.
Well, they're making it exciting, and they're trying to do something we haven't seen them really do for a while, and that is grind it out and put a finish on this game. Pitches up, and Nunez just hit it right where it was pitched. 2 solid hits now for the Twins to lead off the top of the 9th.
And now Robinson with Donaldson coming in to chat with Hawkins. I would imagine it's all part of the learning process here. You got a new pitcher, just new to the organization. What what do the signs mean for the bunt plays if Robinson does try to drop down a sacrifice here?
Well, the safe way to do it is have your third baseman just go tell the pitcher what he's supposed to do.
And I think that's what he did.
Yeah.
Strike call with Robinson pulling the bat back.
I can't remember where it was in my major league career, but that's exactly how we worked it. Pitchers would forget so many times what those plays were. So I think it was my last few years with Sparky in Detroit where he just had the third baseman come out and tell us.
1 strike to Robinson. In the air, and it's down, and Donaldson has no choice but to make the play, get the out. But now the Twins have the tying run at second with 1 away.
What a tough pitch to bunt, but somehow Shane Robinson got the bat on the ball, and it ended up staying fair, so he gets the job done. Puts both Twins runners in scoring position. Now the tying runs at second base. Watch this bunt. I mean, that's not that's not your classic bunt or pitch to bunt, but he got it down some way, somehow.
Hicks with 2 hits tonight, looking for a third. A hit to the outfield should tie the game. Hicks singled and scored in the first, doubled and scored in the 5th.
And both of Aaron's hits today have been from the left side.
Up and away, ball 1.
There's some activity now in the Blue Jay bullpen, activity in the Twins bullpen.
Perkins is up along with Trevor May.
Bo Schultz, the right-hander. I think it's Aaron Loop, the left-hander.
1-0 to Hicks. Strike call. Schultz was warming up in the 2nd inning. Now up again in the 9th. spot here for Aaron Hicks, trying to get a big hit on the road. Fouled back. He got a pitch to hit. He fouled it to the backstop. 1-2. Dozier on deck. Recently as last year, Hawkins was the full-time closer for the Rockies, saved 23 ball games. One and 2 to Aaron Hicks. Popped up behind third. Donaldson with room. 2 down. And Brian Dozier has provided so much ninth-inning magic for the Twins this year, as the game resting in his hands.
Yeah, this should be a great matchup. LaTroy Hawkins has shown that he's been up in the zone, throwing a lot of fastballs up, and Brian Dozier, by that video, shows that he loves the fastball up. So should be a good matchup here. Provided a lot of great moments for Twins fans so far this year.
Had a tough night at the plate tonight. 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts. Hit a rocket. Had a double taken away from him by Donaldson in his first at bat. 2 on, 2 out. Twins down to their last out. Liner to left, and it'll carry to Revere. Dozier's night starts and ends with a line out. And Hawkins gets the save, and the Twins come back in the ninth. Comes up short. 3 hours and 6 minutes the time of the game, and we saw a lot of offense from both teams, more for Toronto than Minnesota. Maybe, Anthony, the Twins can take that as a positive tomorrow. They hit the ball hard tonight, just came up short.